Now the other thing that he did for us, and again, he's been with me a long time. I love keeping people that just keep learning and growing. What I've got in my hand here is a zinc flashing. Now, I keep having somebody argue with me on my YouTube where I tell them it's zinc. They keep telling me it's lead, but there is a difference in zinc and lead, and this is actually zinc. Zinc is also the product that is creates galvanized on steel, so it's very compatible with steel product. Now, what I like about what Luis does here is he bends these where they are overlapping well. They're not just soldered, they're overlapped and soldered at this point. It's an absolutely wonderful flashing. Now this allows us to do, like you've seen maybe one of my videos, if you haven't, you should look at that, for metal roofs. We do a split sheet around these, so we're going to be installing the metal up and over this up and past the let's say it again. We're going to be installing the metal, the first panel, up past where the pipe is. And this is a plumbing pipe. And then this flashing goes into that pan, turning up the standing seams on both sides. Now, this is very malleable or pliable, so it bends very, very well, and we can build it into the standing seam. Then another panel comes down on top of this and over this, setting into that. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense just looking at that right here, but I thought we'd talk about it. You're going to get to actually see that. I think tomorrow we're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4 of the pipes, so I'll surely be able to capture it and be able to show you again. We do have a video out. It's an old video we did 7, 8 years ago, I guess. Actually not too far from here, right in the heart of Terrytown in Austin, Texas. And it talks about how we do that. And we haven't changed it much. We've gotten better at it, but we haven't changed it very much. But using these zinc flashings, now we build these in-house. And we used to be able to buy these out of California, but they quit manufacturing them. And ironically, after a little coaching, a little training, Luis is able to build them for us better than we could buy them from the manufacturer, soldered, much more solid. And I like that. The last thing we want to do is ever have a break or something come loose on that. That's the whole purpose of putting those on there. It's a lifetime fitting. And yeah, I get a lot of people that say, well, just put on a deck tight and you're done. Yes, you can build a Yugo very quick, very easy. Oh yeah, they quit making those. Nobody wanted them. We're not really doing this to just be quick and easy. UV rays in Texas and the heat, oh my gosh, the heat alone on a roof like this, you know, the roof panels, and that's why we have all this venting in here. The roof panels themselves will easily hit on a typical summer day, which lasts about 6 months here, 140, 150, and often 160 degrees to touch. If you were to put a thermostat on it, it's going to be very hot. So we wanted to vent that, where we've got air moving through, and we're going to go over that tomorrow as we put the panels on. This will all start making sense. I've already done a couple of videos leading up to this, showing you how we put the fascia on, put the Cora vent in, and building a wonderful vented roof. But with the heat as bad as it is, putting anything plasticky, putting, you know, and I'm using generically the word deck tight because that's what everybody calls them here. Deck tight is one of the best products you can get for a boot that is a rubber type boot that goes onto a pipe, but even it we find cracks and breaks after a few years, and you have a service problem. And you never have that service problem, or you never know you have that service problem until you've already ruined a ceiling. Now in this house, and this is a good example, in this house, you know, you can never go back and just touch up a spot. As you live in a house, paint ages. It takes on its own patina, if you would. It turns yellow, but it ages. Paint ages. So if you go back with the same paint, even out of the same bucket or the can that you had when you painted the ceiling, this ceiling is, if I'm not mistaken, in this house, from wall to wall on this upper floor, it's over 100 feet long. So if you had a water spot down below one of these deck tight type products, a boot, a rubber boot around a pipe to keep it dry, and when that breaks, you're going to find out when the rain comes and it ruins that ceiling, You're talking about taping off the entire house, moving furniture out of that one floor level, I don't know, 2,000 square feet of furnishings that have to be moved and things taped off, covered up. I don't know how much that would cost, and that's why we want to go with a lifetime pipe flashing rather than put a rubber boot on it that's going to create a leak for you. And the problem that the leak itself is not really that big of a deal, but the damage that it causes, especially on a nice home, is crazy. You just don't want to deal with that. Put on a 50-year roof, put on a 50-year flashing, bottom line.